Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, heard Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on PSA.com and the PSA Facebook page. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by PSA and the National Sports Collectors Convention. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all of your hobby news, features, and more, visit sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now, your hosts, Tom Zappola and Rico Petroselli.
Rico!
Hello there, Tom.
How are you?
What? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Not great, but nothing major. Let's put it that way. But all minor.
I tell you what, man, this weather has really turned around, though, hasn't it?
Well, 82 degrees. I don't know how much I could take of that, but
I'm going to go out for a nice bike ride this afternoon. I'm going to do an 8-mile bike ride. Pretty good. Yeah, absolutely.
Not bad for an old guy.
It's a motorcycle. Anyway, welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappola with my partner in crime, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petroselli, better known as Rico. Rico, you look great. You really do look good. We've got a great show today. We've got Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions is going to be guest hosting with us. Big Al, one of our favorites, Al Crisafulli from Love of the Game Auctions, is going to be joining us to talk about his set builders auction. And then a little later on, Mike Keys from SCP Auctions is going to be joining us. But first, Rico,
go ahead.
Headline. This is kind of an interesting one. Sports card addiction costs federal agent his job. It's a cautionary tale for collectors who can't get enough cards and are racking up big bills to feed their habit. In addition to baseball cards, recently led to a former Homeland Security agent losing his job, paying 6 figures in restitution and 2 years of federal court-ordered probation. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Phoenix, Arizona, reports that former Homeland Security Special Agent Sean Nelson, 44 of Mesa, pleaded guilty to using his government-provided car to earn money to support his cardboard habit. Nelson was also ordered to pay nearly $134,000 in restitution to the Department of Homeland Security after pleading guilty last October and resigning his position. He was sentenced last week. Prosecutors say that between November 2019 and October 2021, Nelson was working for Uber, Lyft, and Amazon while he was supposed to be on duty for Homeland Security investigations. They say he used his government-owned vehicle while making deliveries to those companies, all to make money so that he could buy cards. For more information, and you can read the rest of this article, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. Sports Collectors Daily, our good friend Rich Miller and the staff there. Rico, the guy was a Homeland Security agent, and he was like a drug addict addicted to baseball cards.
Well, yeah, all right. So, I don't have a problem with that, but the fact that he used company car when he wasn't supposed to, that's
unbelievable.
To me, that's going a little too far. Geez.
All right, let's bring our guest host with us. We loved Derek. He's a little off the rails. I think we all agree to that.
We're not.
Just a little off the rails. Yeah. But we love him. Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions. How are you, Mr. Grady?
I'm doing okay.
Now, I got a question. Rico asked a question. Do you get paid to wear that Nike hat?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. Tiger had some issues, and they brought me in since I'm squeaky clean.
Okay, there we go. All right, so Derek's with us, and we're going to bring in our first short segment guest. Very, very special guy to all of us, Al Crisafulli from Love of the Game Auctions. Now, Al just went out and bought an absolutely gorgeous smoking jacket that he is wearing right now. Al Crisafulli, Al, how are you?
He doesn't smoke, does he?
Gentlemen, I don't. I don't smoke.
Maybe a pipe or something. I don't know.
Exactly. Al, how you been?
That's nice.
Good. Right, Happy New Year.
Al's up in Kingston, New York. Derek, where are you? In Dallas or where are you? Jersey?
No, I'm in New Jersey right now.
And Rico is in Sarasota. I'm in North Palm Beach. So it's all technology. Al,
the magic of the internet.
Love of the Game Set Builders Auction. Tell us about it, man. Because I went online, man. You got some really cool stuff.
So back in the day, we used to do this set builder auction, and what it was more of a collector focused auction with lower dollar items, mostly cards. And we sort of got away from doing it because they were hard to do, and I'm not out there soliciting, send your your low dollar stuff here, but it comes in, and usually we just sort of weave it into the regular auction. But in this case, we decided to just, bring out the brand name again and have another one. It's the first one we've done since I think 2016. So,
well, I'll tell you though. Tell us about some of the items.
Well, there's great stuff in it, and I think probably what's most interesting is there's a big selection of T206 Hall of Famers that a lot of them have odd backs. That's kind of great. It was a cool opportunity to break up a really underrated set, which is the 1947 to 66 exhibits set, which is not a thing that we could do in our regular catalog auction, but we did it in this auction. There's a lot of it's a fully PSA graded set. There's a lot of one of ones. There's a lot of the highest graded example in the set, and so it was a kind of a cool opportunity to do that. If you look at our ebook catalog, it's 30 pages of 1947 to 66 exhibits, which is absolutely not something that we could do in a printed catalog just because of the value of the cards. So
that's a record. That's a world record, Al. 30 pages to exhibits.
30 pages of exhibits of
is that exhibit? Is that the one? There's a Jackie Robinson in that, isn't there?
There is a Jackie Robinson. Yeah, and a Satchel Paige and a bunch of Mickey Mantles.
I would agree with Al, and let me interject here. I do. What he said of it being an underrated set, it truly is. It is chock full of superstars. And you could get them in amusement parks and different vending machines, but it really is a cheaper way to have gotten a Jackie Robinson, a Mickey Mantle, but you're starting to see the values take off. No different than postcards did.
It's interesting because there's a lot of different levels of scarcity within the set, because some of the cards were only made for 1 year. I mean, the set itself was between 1947 and 66, but some of those cards were only issued in 1947.
Yeah. I know that's an interesting. Actually, Al, is Rico gone? Did we lose Rico?
I see him.
He passed away.
We lost him.
Segment.
Rico, how come I don't see Rico? How come?
Well, you got to get glasses. That's why.
Thank God for small favors.
How can you do that?
I can't. Believe me. I see the other two guys. But Al, real quickly, you brought this to my attention. You had a Jackie. I think it was you in one of your auctions. You had a Jackie Robinson exhibit card, and we talked
about the 1948 card.
It was 47 and
47. Yeah,
and I asked you if it could have been his rookie card. But you had all the statistics which showed that it was a 47. Yeah. And the reason I asked you that question is because I bought one in a private sale signed in 1947 by Jackie Robinson. It's a very cool card, but I was really trying to find the angle to
Of course he was.
No, just to be able to say this was his rookie card. And Al, you proved me wrong.
Yeah, and I don't remember. Forgive me.
It's like 5/8.
I think it's 5/8 of an inch. If it's the made in USA at the bottom of the card, if it's 5/8 of an inch, those were printed in 1947, and then they changed the printing. And so, if you have one of those Jackies that's 5/8 of an inch, that's actually a Jackie Robinson rookie card.
I had my tape measure out. It was a 47.
I mean, what other kind of hobby has this level of ridiculousness?
Hey, Al, you remember when the Garrick exhibit rookies and all those things were dirt cheap?
Couldn't give them away, yeah.
Yes. Sure. And then the narrative changed. And once that narrative changed, now all of a sudden the postcards, the Ty Cobb postcards, the Garrick rookie, I mean, you see what they go for now.
That's crazy.
The same thing can happen when also, he's doing a 30-page spread on exhibits. And do you have some descriptions with them too, explaining variations?
Not in this one. And we do describe the ones that are more scarce and
that's what I mean.
That sort of thing. Yeah,
but it's going to educate people, and then that's what creates more collectors following stuff, because a lot of people just don't know.
It's cool to do, and you guys do your Sunday auctions too. It's cool. It's cool to do auctions like this because I think it draws people into the hobby. It's less focused on, record-breaking prices and more focused on, hey, this is a hobby. We're all collecting, and here's some cool sets that you might not know.
And now, this too, like even some of the high-end, super high-end clients we deal with in this business that are multimillionaires, they have, to Al's auction, they're the set collectors, and we have our Sunday night sales. Every person to a man almost has stuff like that. I have stuff like that in my collection.
Sure.
It doesn't belong in a catalog. Yeah. We all have $50, $100 items. I don't care, if you're a billionaire, you still have, for the most part, I've seen stuff that belongs in a collector's auction or a Sunday auction.
Right.
And you have to, so when people have asked us, look, we've gotten a lot of press with doing $1.5 billion in Sotheby's and Christie's. Why do we stay collector friendly? And that's why I think you have to, most people are like us. Okay. Most people aren't bidding with Sotheby's. I don't know if Al bids with Sotheby's or Christie's.
Well, he does. He's got plenty of money.
Al May. That's where he got his coat.
When I'm slumming.
I prefer the regular, and Al provides a great service. I've won with him. I've bid with him, and he runs a first class.
You really do, Al. You do a good job, Rico.
Thank you.
Well, I want to ask him. In looking at your website,
hold on. I am now.
He did no research.
I am now going to fall off.
Wait a minute. Look at this notes.
He's got
see
notes.
this?
Look at that.
These are notes.
Wow.
No, Ohtani. I was curious. Ohtani 2018, right? Is that his rookie year?
I think so, yeah.
It was up for like $300 or $500, the starting auction price, and the bid was $800. I said, "Holy, what happened?"
You just focus right in on the newest thing in the auction, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
No, Al, you have to.
Well,
understand.
I will say this: I'm a more modern guy.
He is. Al, believe it or not,
really?
Because that too, I think, helps the industry.
It does.
This is true.
Who's going to want the newest cars?
He's really
the
pushing.
younger people, the 20-year-olds, the teenagers who will continue to do it. That's what true. I'm focused on.
He has been an advocate of that, Al. He really has.
I think what bums me out about that is that it's a kid's hobby for sure, but you can't buy a pack of cards as a kid the way we did, where we could go into the convenience store and buy a pack of cards for 35 cents. Now you have to go to a hobby shop or a Target and buy a box for $400.
Something though, Rico. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Derek, Al, myself, vintage people, and I think we've all said it publicly. I personally have a problem with manufactured rarities. It's just I have a problem with that. Anybody can manufacture one of one. You know what I mean? It's like I can't wrap my arms around that. Al, what about you?
I prefer to be able to say that something is scarce because it's one of a few copies that survived. I think what appeals to me as a collector is collecting things that weren't necessarily meant to be collected. Either they weren't meant to be collected or they weren't meant to be collected because of their value. And I think I see a lot of that in modern stuff now. People collect all kinds of different things and they collect for their own personal reasons, and it sort of is what it is. There's no wrong reason to collect for sure. This is a great hobby because there's so many different ways to approach it and so many different ways to do it. And so, I am with Rico in that, the kids and young people collect what they know. And as they're learning about sports, they're gravitating to Ohtani and Mike Trout and people like that. And
it is what it is.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Hey, your website address is
loveofthegameauctions.com.
Okay, the Love of the Game Set Builders Auction. Go to it.
Yep.
There's some great cards in that auction. Al, then you got a couple of big ones coming up down the road.
Yeah, we're in the process of building consignments for our spring catalog auction, which is going to be fantastic. We've got a This stuff is just starting to come back from PSA now, but a fantastic, nearly complete autographed 52 top set with a absolutely beautiful mantle and a beautiful Jackie. The mantle is a vintage signature graded PSA 10, and the card is a 3. It's a beautiful card and probably the nicest one.
All right, sir. We will see you down the road.
Hey,
Excellent.
All right, Al. Take
Folks,
care.
It's a pleasure.
Good luck, Al.
Till next time.
Of the game auctions. Good
See you
guy.
soon, Derek.
Good guy.
See you, man.
Go Red
Bye-bye.
Sox.
Something. I kind of have lost time here, so I'm not sure what we have left for time. But Derek, you're going to be with us right to the end of the show. If that's okay with you. All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sure.
Derek, couple of things. I don't know what we have time, David. You're going to have to let me know. But anyway, let's talk about the winter sports auction first. You guys it was really, really successful, wasn't it?
Yeah, the January auction.
Yeah.
You know, it was supposed to do probably 8 million something, and it did over 10. So anytime you're exceeding our estimates, and we don't do one of those things, where we underestimate things and say every auction does twice the estimate. We try and put the last sale or some comp to really, put some effort into the estimates. And we really, we surpassed our estimates by, 20%. And there were some really crazy strong prices in there. When you talk about set building, you talk about not just lower value stuff, you talk about PSA graded commons in 9s and 10s. And there were just really strong numbers on cards for the PSA registry. As we know, the registry is very, very good for the hobby, and so many people build sets, and we had a lot of cards, but it was just strong across the board on open wax, single cards, modern cards, autograph cards. Did really well with what Al just said, a 52 Mantle sign and a 52 Jackie Robinson sign. We set records on those. We did very well. And now we just launched our February Platinum Night auction. Literally the day after the January auction ended, we just launched a $20 million sale, at least.
What are the high? Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
Well,
The
no, I
highlights?
was just go ahead.
Yeah,
With the
so
highlights.
As far as, so in that auction where we have memorabilia, we have a Sporting News Ruth rookie that's really high grade, a 52 Mantle 8, 52 Maze 8, the 51 Bowman Mantle 8, 51 Bowman Maze 8, then a killer 53 registry set. That's one of the highest in the PSA registry. Then when you get into bats, we have a Lou Gehrig bat graded
Wait a
at 10.
minute. The 53 set, you have the whole set.
Yes.
Wow.
Sold as a set.
Wow.
900 sold as a set. That's going to go north of $500,000 easy. We have a 48 Joe DiMaggio game worn jersey. We also have a Seals jersey from Joe DiMaggio. I think that's the PCL League, Pacific Coast League.
Pacific Coast League. Yeah.
We have a Brady game worn jersey that's photo matched. Lou Gehrig bat. We just have. There's a ton of
Nice
bats,
stuff.
Man.
cards, jerseys. Yeah, believe me, if you think it doesn't come easy. We work very hard. We have a great team, from the West Coast to the East Coast and in Dallas, Chicago. And we bring, it's interesting to see literally you watch a $10 million catalog end and a $20 million one goes online.
Derek, let's touch on that for a second, because it's just, I can't comprehend how you guys can go from a $10 million auction to a 20. Do you guys accumulate cards and memorabilia right before the auction, or do you guys have a warehouse full with this stuff that you just bing, 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 bing?
Well, we always have collections coming in. That's never going to stop. And once a consignment deadline is over for Platinum Night, now we focus on the March showcase auction, the April showcase auction, and the May catalog. So the higher end items I'm putting in the May catalog right now. And we're still putting good stuff, 50,000. We're still putting good stuff in the showcase auctions, but we always have a deadline. It doesn't end. The calls don't stop. The consignment statement, it's a tribute to our clients, our consigners, our bidders, a lot of people that have won stuff that move in and out of stuff that say, hey, I'm done with this set. Maybe I want to buy a Lou Gehrig bat, and I'm going to purchase this. I'm going to consign against it. We do that all the time, where people consign to pay for their purchases or a part of their purchases.
Yeah. I got two questions for you. Since you've been in the business for what, 50, 55 years?
It seems like it.
Yeah. And one question is, how hot are tickets? Because it's a funny thing. I just, somebody showed me a ticket for way back when. And have you had, or has there been live auctions? Live auctions.
Yeah. So with tickets, we hit the ticket market. Our one auction set so many world records in tickets. And after that, I swear it was a wave, a tidal wave at PSA to get tickets graded. Okay. Everybody was getting their Michael Jordan debut tickets graded, all their debut tickets. And the backup at PSA, I think, with the tickets, they couldn't keep up with the volume. But as they came back, they all started coming back, and the prices started to level off. But we caught it just perfectly with the Jackie Robinson debut ticket that sold for hundreds of thousands, a record on a Jordan debut ticket. I mean, all kinds of home run tickets and significant tickets. So the ticket market has come back to earth a little bit, but still very collectible.
Okay, but so Derek, just to follow up on what Rico just asked you about tickets, is there value in for a common collector? Okay, using Rico as an example, and all kidding aside, a Red Sox fan having a ticket, a full stub to when Rico hit his 40th home run to break the record, something like that. Is there value to a card like that as opposed to, a July 25th Red Sox Baltimore Orioles game?
Oh yeah. So any significant moment. So who would bid on that? I would, since I've become friends with Rico, I would bid on something like that. It's cool. It's described on the label what it is, right. And it says Rico's debut, Rico's 40th homer, or something like that. But I mean, other than a Boston Red Sox collector, you're really looking for, home run number 714 for Ruth, or 715 for Aaron, or 660 for Mays. But and debut tickets are really good. Like I was excited to get a Deion Sanders because I'm a big football guy, and he was, one of the greatest defensive players as a cornerback. And there was a debut ticket that I hadn't seen before. And it's kind of cool. I mean, and they don't always have to be in great condition. It's just, it's the moment that it happened. But the Jackie debut tickets are like, those are just crazy, over the moon priced. But I think so they're very good overall, but the market, but at the same time, the more common things, when you set that record, people start submitting them like crazy. They go through their sock drawers and they find them. They're grading concert tickets and everything. Everybody saved I saved all my stubs. I don't know where they're at right now, but I saved stubs, probably had nothing significant.
Gotcha. All right, listen, we're going to take a break. Derek is in the house. Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions is going to be with us throughout the whole show. Hang in there, and we will be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
For more than 30 years, Robert Edward Auctions has been the industry leader when it comes to helping you realize the most money for your baseball cards and sports memorabilia. In addition to their unparalleled reputation for honesty and integrity, they reach the largest number of bidders in the business and offer lower seller's fees, as well as generous cash advances up front on your valuable material. Contact them today at 908-226-9900. That's 908-226-9900 or at robertedwardauction.com.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Even though he's from New York, we still love him! On Deck with Rico Patricelli.
Okay, it is time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. Rico, a good question this week. This was submitted by a gentleman whose name is Jack Roy. And Jack, you will get a Great American Collectibles t-shirt if you email me or message us your address. Rico, what time would you get to the park for a day game as well as a night game? And did they feed you guys?
Let's see, which one? A day game, Sundays were 2:00. This when I first broke in. Day game would be 1:00, so I would get to the ballpark at 12:45.
No, come on.
And yeah, I'm serious. Put my uniform on and
walk on the field.
That's
no.
all.
What time? How long would you?
No, 2.5, 3 hours before the game.
Wow.
So we get there at 10:00 or so for a 1:00 game, and a night game probably around 3:30. 3:30 for a 7:00 game. Actually, we even had 8:00 games in those days, but then we went to 7. So 3 hours or so. Did they feed us? What do you mean? Before the game?
Well, no, like before the game. Would you guys have a spread before the game, or
no, not one. No. We had in my later years, we had spreads after the game. All the clubhouse guys started to bring in foods, and the reason was because in the night game, a lot of times the city didn't, there was no restaurants in the city, say Detroit, Cleveland, wherever, and they were all closed, and so they would give us put a big spread on all kinds of different things.
So for a night game, so then you would have a big meal at home before you left for the ballpark?
Yes. Yeah, I usually had something before the game, and a little something after the game. But I'll tell you what, it was tough. Now, Carl Yastrzemski he was a he was working for a meat company. He was endorsing a meat company.
I remember that.
Yeah. So Derek, every night, kielbasa. Kielbasa. I like kielbasa.
Who was it? Hillshire? It was Hillshire Farms.
Yeah, probably was. Yeah. But you look in there, kielbasa again. God. Jeez. We used to tell, did they make any other kind of meats? He'd laugh, eat it. So anyway,
good. Very, very
that's
cool.
it.
All right. So, Jack Roy, message us or email us, and we will get you out a T-shirt. All right. I want to talk about autograph cards, Derek. Autograph cards have exploded over the last year and a half or so, maybe 2 years, year and a half. Why all of a sudden the change? Especially, you were the chief grader at one point for SGC. Point being, those cards were really not recommended when you were grading way back, right? What happened?
People really got into, I did too, because what it gives you, and I collect signed rookie cards. And then I have a run of every Aaron, every Mays, every Willie Stargell sign card. And the reason I did it was it gave me a chance to have an autograph of the player on the rookie card or on other significant cards. And it's encapsulated. Once PSA started encapsulating, it's like anything in the grading business. Once tickets started to become encapsulated, the ticket market shot up. Once, signed cards started being encapsulated and there's registries for them, people start going crazy. People love things encapsulated, authenticated with that label that says what it is, and it just took off. And I wish I would have gotten in earlier. I got in probably at the same time everybody got in, maybe a little before, but I never had a chance to buy the 52 mantle for $7-8 grand, under 10 grand.
Right.
And now they're 100 grand minimum. A Jackie, forget about it. A 49 Bowman Satchel Paige, I missed out on those. I missed out on a lot of those, but they've become very collectible. And again, the reason I started was I'm not so worried about the condition of the card. I like a nice autograph on the card because you're not really staring at the card. And that way, like I said, I get the memorabilia. It's kind of, you get the autograph and you get the card. You get both.
Rico, did you sign many cards? Did you sign many, Rico?
Yeah, I signed a bunch of cards, but
did?
I wanted to ask you, in the older cars, not the vintage, but 50s and stuff, were there, because some of my cards they're printed on, the autograph is printed on, and people want, let's say with a Sharpie, to have your autograph at that particular time. You come across any of that?
So in other words, a double signature.
Well, yeah. So, we put it over the other one.
I've definitely seen it. Yeah, for sure. And the cards that already come with the printed autograph too, that people are signing those I don't even notice the ones that already came signed, to be honest, because I'm so used to them that's the way they came, printed with the autograph on it. You're still getting, now athletes have caught on to this, and now they charge more to have their rookie card signed. They want to
really.
Yeah, that's the sad part. It's like, but they're, if you're paying somebody $100 for their autograph, why should they care what you sign? But they now charge more to sign a rookie card. So the rookie cards cost more, and then you pay them more because, the promoters are the ones that probably did it. The autograph promoters, the agents, they're finding a way to make every extra buck. So, but yeah, signed cards that's not going anywhere. People absolutely love it.
Hey, did I see you with James Harrison?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So he's got a featured collection in our upcoming Platinum Night auction. So he has one of the most significant plays in NFL history and Super Bowl history, where he returned an interception, basically 100 yards, changed the outcome of the game, really. Happened right before half. He literally made it with no time on the clock into the end zone. We have the football and the jersey from that play,
cool.
Along with other Super Bowl helmets and other jerseys. I mean, he was in 4 Super Bowls. People don't realize that because he was in a Super Bowl with New England.
Right. He played for the Pats.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I was there and I was rooting for the Pats. And of course, the Eagles had to win. So
Yeah,
I'm a Cowboy fan, so I can't root for the Eagles in anything. But that was he's going to make the Hall of Fame. Probably should have already. He won a Defensive Player of the Year, bunch of Pro Bowls, couple Super Bowls. The main thing that he's known for is his hitting. I mean, he played fierce at all, and just pummeled people. They changed some of the rules. He got fined a lot, but it's for playing the game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We had chatted with. Go ahead, Rick.
What about my question about live auctions?
Yeah.
So you go.
When I first, Heritage, every other category we have, if there's 40 categories, and I lose count, they start them all the time, so I could be wrong here, but there's around 40 categories. There's literally 39 of them do live auctions. Sports collectors love extended bid format. So when I first got to Heritage, we were doing, on the card side, we were doing extended bid because that's what the hobby's used to. Okay, with the overtime roll, with the 30-minute clock. And then with memorabilia, we were doing it live. Well, we found out, I think using logic, and I'm still not sure why Sotheby's, Christie's, or the other venues at Heritage don't do it, is logically speaking, when you have auctions at 10, 11 in the morning on a weekday or noon, your wealthy clients are working. Okay. So how are they bidding? They're stepping out of surgery. They're stepping out of wherever they're at, giving legal briefs, or they're driving somewhere, and they're calling in a phone bid. I think live auctions makes it harder to bid. When you bid online and it ends in the evening, most people are home. And then you move money around. The one thing you get me with in an auction, and I found this, is when I go to an auction and I focus on one item, and I get surpassed. I hold my money the whole way through the auction to get this one item. And then I lose that one item. I can't spread my money around. These lots are already closed.
Right.
So again, when I go to an auction, when I go to the Hunt Super Bowl auction and I bid in their sale, I save my money towards some of these other lots. If it was extended bid, I would be able to spread my money around when I get out, bid on something else. I think the sports people have it right. And I think it gets more, we found that it gets more bids. It gets more people on the website. I think it gets more of everything. I think when in Rome, you do what the Romans do. And I'm not asking, coins or comics to change their venue, or antiques or Sotheby's or Christie's. Do what works for you. But I really believe extended bid, logically speaking, is the best way to run an auction. It doesn't.
Right. I think you're making a good point. I mean, obviously you can't do it. Barrett Jackson automobiles, they can't do that. But you're making
not
a very
for
good
in
point.
person. Keep in mind, they also get a crowd. What you find, so when you have a live auction where there's a crowd, that's one thing.
Right.
A lot of the live auctions now, there's literally nobody in the audience. The auctioneer is just talking to a camera,
and they're calling in bids.
Yes, and there's phone bidders. But there's no if everybody, so many people bid on the internet, and I'm telling you, 85-year-olds. And by the way, we take phone bids too. We're there in the office. People can call us with any issues whatsoever. I think, live sales need to evolve a little bit more. That's the way you used to go to auctions in the 1800s. You'd go in horse.
Well, something though. There was something to be said, Rico. You're making a point, because there was a couple of local auctions in the greater. But you remember Halls, Rico?
Yes.
It was fun to get in the car and drive over to Halls up in Stoneham on a Saturday morning, and they do an auction. I mean, there were no Wagner cards, but it was just fun to go to and just hang out there and bid on stuff.
Yeah, I brought him to get it appraised, a Babe Ruth. A Babe Ruth. There was another signature on it, but he came back. He says, "Well, it's worth about $3,600." And who owned it? It was a school, a private school owned it, and they wanted to know how much it was worth.
Oh, okay.
I should have bid. I should have gave him like $20. What a dope! I didn't even think of it.
Unbelievable. All right, listen, we got about a minute left, and then we got another break. Real quickly, Derek, what does 2023 look like for you?
Our regular auction schedule with card catalogs, memorabilia and card catalogs, and 2 platinum night auctions. with our weekly Sunday auctions and our monthly showcase auctions where there's not a catalog. That being said, nothing shocks me at this company that will be, there could be a special one-off auction, one-off catalog where somebody comes up with a significant collection. It's really, it's anything we can, that makes sense, we'll do. So if somebody has a great set registry collection or a great jersey collection and they want their own one-off auction, if the auction's $1 million or more, we're going to do it.
If Petrocelli, meets his maker and we have him mummified, is there any money in that?
Mummified, as long as they don't cut off his head. The Red Sox have something with cutting players' heads.
That's a good point. Good point.
I'm in line for that. They're throwing my head away.
I won't let them freeze your head. But
I got a question.
Hold on. Picture Rico's body with Ted's head.
Okay. Ted's no longer a Hall of Famer. Ted is no longer the greatest.
Rico, we're going to take a break.
We're just joking, folks. So Ted Williams fans,
don't take it serious. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. Derek's going to be with us to the end, and we have, I think, Mike Keys from SCP is going to be joining us for a few minutes. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
They are prized possessions, and you need a place to store them that is safe and secure. The eBay Vault is exactly that. An insured, climate-controlled facility with state-of-the-art security that guards your valuable collection around the clock. Your Vault account is protected by two-step verification and easily accessible through eBay Collection. And everything stored in the eBay Vault is backed by Authenticity Guarantee. Buying and selling is a seamless experience. When you buy an eligible card on eBay, it can be sent directly to the eBay Vault at checkout. Or, if it's already in the eBay Vault, you can just keep it there. And selling from the eBay Vault is just as easy. Every card in the vault has been expertly inspected, detailed, and photographed, so you can quickly sell it with a pre-populated listing. And if your buyer chooses to withdraw their card from the eBay Vault, we handle packing, shipping, and insurance. And same goes for you. If you want that rare rookie card in your hands, you can have it shipped to you at any time. Collect like a pro with the eBay Vault.
The eBay Vault is climate controlled, insured, and protected with 24-hour security. Soon, you'll be able to send cards already in your collection directly to the eBay Vault. They will take high-quality photos of the front and back of the card.
You belong
and
in a vault.
document all the details for your viewing pleasure and to make the listing to sell processing. For more info, go to eBay, connecting buyers and sellers globally.
You will never read through that entire thing.
Yeah, because
straight.
you
You will never read through that thing straight. Listen,
Derek, you should read it.
I want to read.
Oh, no,
I'm willing to.
I'm going to run this by both of you guys. Hall of Fame, Jim Rowland. What the hell is going on? Scott Rowland. What the hell is going on?
You know, I watched Scott Rowland. Tell me.
Very good player.
Yes, he was. He was a good player. Tell me Dave Parker, when he came to bat, wasn't a more feared player.
Oh, easy.
Okay.
Well,
Thurman Munson is not in the Hall of Fame. He was dominant for a decade. Rookie of the Year, MVP, a couple championships, captain of the Yankees, Gold Gloves at catcher. He's not in. There's plenty of players that aren't in, and I'm not even talking the steroid guys that should be in anyway, and maybe you have an asterisk by their name. People will think what they think, but Scott Rowland wasn't even on my radar.
I agree, man.
To be considered, and I was like, "Are you serious?" Oh, Steve Garvey's not in.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
That's you can't believe his stats. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, you know, another guy who should be in the conversation is you guys. You may disagree with me, but I mean, his numbers are better than Scott Rowland's. Different position. Don Mattingly, another guy.
Of course.
You know?
Somebody said to me, and I don't know his numbers off the top of my head, so forgive me, but you're two Red Sox guys. Somebody said to me, was Dwight Evans?
Dwight Evans, yeah.
Was he
Rico?
Was he kind of like a Scott Rowland?
Yes,
a good player,
better hitter, much better hitter. Now, Scott Rowland was known for his defense, and he wasn't that great a hitter. But
people will argue that he was a really good third baseman, but he's not a Brooks Robinson or Mike Schmidt third baseman either.
No. I mean,
so
it's just right.
I was shocked. I was literally like,
Dwight Evans was a great right fielder. I was every day. You had to see him every day. Well, he was quiet. He was a quiet guy.
Did Louis T not have more of an impact on the game?
Absolutely.
Well,
Okay, there you go.
You look
So
at
now-
you.
Yeah, Tion believes.
Well, you look at Louis' numbers. You look at a guy like Ted Lyons. I've looked at that before. I mean, Ted Lyons is in the Hall of Fame. If Ted Lyons is in the Hall of Fame, Louis Tion certainly should be in the Hall of Fame.
Should be, yeah.
Well, and I can't argue with the people in the 30s and the 40s that kind of got in, and the Rick Farrells and some of these guys that are in the Gowdy sets and the play ball sets that people are like, oh yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know. I just know the people I watched. I know Dave Parker was a feared hitter. Okay,
Dave Parker was a great player.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
and,
he was
and a player. And he won an MVP.
dominant.
And he won a couple World Series. And to not, where's all his votes? Mattingly, yeah, he got hurt, but he was dominant for a decade anyway.
So where's the problem? Is the problem with the writers?
I don't know. I have no idea what the sports writers are watching. I think you can have the guys in the bar tell you who should be in and who shouldn't.
I mean, it's really getting watered down. It really is getting watered down.
And there's too many people on the outside looking in. How's Kurt Schilling not in?
Well, they have different committees, different eras. Now they have committee for a different era.
I'm fine with that when they put in Tony Oliva and they put in guys like that. Mm-hmm. Richie Allen should probably be in. There's other guys that need to get in, and those committees allow them to get in. But
you're preaching to the choir here. I think
I had no idea that he would even get anywhere near the same boat.
We are chatting with Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions. Rico.
Yeah. So
what about our good friend James Fiorentino? He's got a gig coming up at the Philly show.
Yeah, big. This one of the great artists, sports artists. Well, folks, mark your calendars for this Philly show, which is March 10th through the 12th, with James Fiorentino's newest project, Fiorentino Elite, will debut as part of a 3-day exhibit featuring sports art from over the years, including pieces from the There Is Only One collection. The Fiorentino Elite collection recognizes the greatest athletes in the world through a series of 22 by 30 original watercolor paintings. Each painting is signed by both James and the athlete, committed to never producing the same image of an athlete more than once in the Elite collection. Each painting will be marked 1 of 1. Please visit James and go to for more information. You didn't put it down here.
Yes, I did.
No, it did. You want to see
no,
it?
Just go to jamesfiorentino.com.
Go, right. Go.
Yeah,
that's right. Joe the Fiorentino Elite Collection, a one-of-a-kind masterpieces that capture the spirit of some of the greatest athletes and champions of all time. He does beautiful stuff.
He really does. And Rico, if you recall, did you see what he presented? You were there, Derek, when he did the...
No, listen, he's a friend of mine, and I'm a client. I own some of There's Only One paintings.
Do you really?
Well, I when I walked in, so Joe Drellick and I are close.
I know that.
And he said, I want you to come look at this and get your opinion of what I have over here at the show. And that was a gallery with James's paintings. There's only one. And I don't own a painting. Haven't really ever bought a sports painting. And I walked in and I saw these rookie cards. Mantle rookie card, Griffey rookie card.
I remember seeing those, yeah.
And I was blown away by the talent. And James was busy he was, it was like a reception and he was very busy. So I didn't even bother getting introduced to him or talk to him. And I literally met with Joe maybe a week later. And I said, I want 4. I want 4 of them. Okay.
Right,
and so
great.
I own, I've bought more since even because I'm a card grader. I process cards.
Yep.
And I'm seeing these rookie cards come to life, and he's only painting one, and they're incredible. The T206s, they're incredible. The Gaudis, by the way, everything he does.
Rico and I, he was at it was a couple of years ago. He had, probably where you picked him up, Derek, was at the Philly show. He had a beautiful exhibition at the Philly show.
That's what I'm talking about. That's where I first saw them. Those are
fabulous.
All sold. Those are all sold. And
wow.
I've introduced a few other clients to him too, and you're either see the vision or you kind of don't. They're not exactly cheap, they're over they're between, 25 to 40 grand a painting for those. But I think the detail, the water, it is unbelievable.
Beautiful. Nah,
he does great stuff.
Well, I have a question.
Go ahead. And the Elite is a different project he's doing, and they're signed, and it's an incredible image of the player, and they blow me away too. And they're signed by the player, and you can only imagine when the player passes. Not that we want that to happen. You've got this signed original artwork by Ferrantino. He's really, well known in this industry.
Derek, you have said when you've been on the show before that, and we'd like to give information to the collectors listening out there. Do you still feel, I know you mentioned this, do you still feel that the collectors, especially the relatively new ones, should go out there and collect what they like, what they love, let's say, or should they start looking at a few different angles?
So, when I think the whole key to a hobby is something you like to do, right? You have to enjoy it. So I think the first thing you do is figure out what you like. So for me, it was buying packs of 1979 football, 1980 baseball, and building sets until I was introduced to a card store. Then the rest is history. But so now the younger kids, whatever sport they like, buying the modern cards that come out, I think that's very important, and enjoying it and doing the pack breaks and having fun with it. And I know there's clubs in school now, and there's stores have popped back up everywhere. And I'm hoping and you can get packs now. And with Fanatics, you might be able to get packs everywhere when they have their print put on, fingerprint put on this. And I do think it's important now, as far as you start to get more, it's kind of like, I'm going to answer it in two parts. Yeah, when you only are on a limited budget, you can really only do one thing. As you start to make more money and you grow up and you get a job, then you don't go all in on modern. You go back and buy some vintage, buy some, you can buy memorabilia. Right. I bought memorabilia, cards, vintage, modern. I've stopped buying modern for the most part. It just kind of got past me where it was really a good buy, and then it just quadrupled, 10x itself in value. Now it's starting to come back to earth. Right. But there's still a lot of people that have seen great teams in Michael Jordan rookies, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird rookies. But I think you do your due diligence and you diversify. I think that's always good, because I think very few people do I hear say, I only like the National Treasures issue and that's it. I mean, there's not an auction I can't bid in. I go back and buy, if it's not vintage cards, it's autograph cards, bats, jerseys, baseballs. They're taking my money somehow. I couldn't go, even if it was a live auction, I'm going to find something there as a collector. There's too much stuff in this hobby.
Yeah.
Derek, we have about a minute and a half left. Your website address?
www.ha.com, and just go to sports.
Okay, listen, you know what you mean to the show. I hate to admit it, but we do
have me on more often.
Well, we get a lot of emails. We get a lot of people. People
are protest.
you know who gets the most votes to come on? You, and you know who's behind you? Thomas Sulo. You and Thomas Sulo.
So you have two politically incorrect people. And I don't even want to say.
No, you get four. Rico and I, you get four.
Yeah, that's true. We're not really politically incorrect. We're just candid.
Exactly.
I answer all your questions. I'm not afraid to answer an honest,
I think that's what people like.
And Thomas Sulo, man, is that guy passionate about the hobby, or what have you ever seen?
Oh my God, he's unbelievable. He calls me once a week.
I talked to him yesterday.
He is unbelievable.
Derek, what's that going to go for in your auction? I said, Joe, Jesus, we just closed an auction. There's 26 days left in the auction. How the hell am I supposed to know what this is going to go for in a month? And he is so dialed in. He's fun
great.
To talk to.
All right, we got to wrap it up. Special thanks to
Derek,
and Derek, as always.
Thanks, Rico. Good
Rico,
job.
Hey,
have a great week. Rico, some great questions. It's good to see you researching.
Okay.
Rico's researching, Tom's tanning. So this is what we got.
Yeah, I got to check him out.
All right. With that being said, Chrissy and David, thank you so much. You guys do a great job. And to our viewers and listeners, we love you. Thanks for the support. YouTube, Facebook, any platform, we're on it. With that being said, happy collecting.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.